Pumas squad for the Rugby Championship. I've gone ahead and picked the 23. Mario Ledesma did pick a very big squad. Initially, he's kind of trimmed that down a bit, so I've gone ahead and picked 23 players. It's tough, but I've gone ahead and had a try. You guys can let me know your thoughts and who you would pick in the 23 for the Pumas, but it is a pretty strong looking squad with a mixture of European-based and Jaguares-based players. So this is my 23. You guys let me know yours, and yeah, we'll go from there. So front row, I have gone with Vivas, Crevi, and Figalo. I believe Figalo is fit, so if he's fit, I think he probably gets picked. Crevi, I think you have to pick him. He's a phenomenal guy to play at number 2. His backup, Montoya, is also very good. I've picked him as the backup, but I think Crevi has to get a start. And Vivas, I think in Super Rugby, probably got the most minutes of loose heads, so I've put him there at number 1. The second row pretty much picks itself with Petty and Lavanini. They're different style players. Petty is the guy who in the air is so beautiful. You know, he gets the line-out steals. He wins the line-out ball. Lavanini is more like the grafting, hard-working guy who gets into all the dirty areas, cleaning out rucks, running the ball up. But they complement each other very well because you need both. You can't just have one. So Lavanini has come a long way, I think, in the last couple of years. I think being under Ledesma and Casada has been good for him. The back row is probably my favorite part of the team. You can have Matera at 6, Crema at 7, and Isa at 8. That is a thing of beauty. I can't wait to see those guys in action. I hope that's how it lines up. I think that's how Ledesma will pick his team. I hope so, because that is very exciting. 9 and 10, I've gone with Kubeli and Sanchez. I think Sanchez probably gets picked ahead of Bonilla. But I'm still pretty happy with that combination. 12 and 13, I continue the Jaguares one of De La Fuente and Orlando. I always talk about them being underrated. I don't know why people don't talk about them more, but those guys are both very, very good players, and they showed that throughout Super Rugby. I think maybe people are starting to wisen up to just how good those guys are. The back 3, I'm also pretty excited. I've gone with Boffelli at fullback, Mojano on the left wing, and Cordero on the right wing. He's been called back from overseas as well, so I think you have to give him a game to see how well he can connect again with those other Argentinian-based players. So that's the starting 15. I mentioned Montoya on the bench. Also include Herrera, who's been called back from overseas. If you're going to call him, I think you have to play him. Titis Chaparro as the backup loosehead. If he's fit, we go with Alemano as the backup lock. And I've gone with Lizana as the backup loose forward, purely based on stats. I know it could be like Ortega Decio, but in terms of the numbers for like tackles and tackle busts and line breaks, I think Lizana had the best numbers, so I picked him. Backup number 9 is Felipe Escura, who's been pretty decent in Super Rugby, so that's a good thing, but Kubeli still has to be the starter. Bonija as your backup 10, and Moroni on the bench. He's had a very good season. He would be very unlucky not to get a start, but he can play in the back 3, he can play in the midfield as well, so either way, he's a very good guy to have on the bench. So yeah, I've been pretty happy with that. I mean, you look at the side, Matera is one of the best players in Super Rugby this year. His skill set is beyond just kind of tackling. It's offloads and kicks as well. Crema, who someone reminded me is only like 21, is a huge man, and he can play in the second row as well if needed. I'm excited to see how Sanchez goes, because he is... I mean, Bonilla had a very good season, and he's unlucky not to start, but I think Sanchez is perhaps just that cut above, and his kicking is probably a bit more reliable. The second row is excellent. The back row is excellent. The scrum, I would be curious to see the impact the foreign-based players can have. I hope Figalo can elevate the level of that scrum so they can be more stable, because it was a bit of a weakness for the Jaguares in their Super Rugby campaign. Midfield, I'm very happy with. Outside backs, I'm very happy with. This overall is a very balanced, I think, Argentinian team. I'm not sure how different Mario Ledesma's pick of his team will be. I think there's probably a bit of room for changes, but It'll depend on how many of these guys are fit as well. You guys let me know your thoughts on the Pumas team. How do you think they're going to line up under Mario Ledesma? How would you pick it? I do think in terms of preparing for the World Cup, it is important to give the foreign-based players some minutes to gel and connect with the Argentinian-based players. So when they do get to the World Cup, they are a cohesive team and playing together smoothly. But yeah, that's my pick. You guys let me know your thoughts on who you would have picked and the reasons why. And yeah, I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.